What up is Marcus Dynasty Football Dads. I am going to the Spider-Man movie on, was it No Way From Home? Something's from home? Whatever it is. I don't know. I like to not look at trailers beforehand just because I want to go in blind, because a lot of times trailers can sometimes even spoil the movie. And I just like to go in there kind of, again, blind, and sometimes I'll get a little bit of kind of spoilers from either the radio or TV or something. All of a sudden I'll catch a glimpse. But I'll be doing that versus watching the Chargers versus the Chiefs. But let's go through a little bit of Chargers-Chiefs. Then we're going to go through some playoff strategy here, some important playoff strategy, and then all this different COVID stuff as well. But Chargers versus Chiefs, Austin Eckler expected to play. I would play him. Even a half a game of Austin Eckler is better than probably most other options that you're going to have. And we saw this kind of with Dalvin Cook, but Dalvin Cook had a shoulder injury versus a leg injury. And so when you have a leg injury like Austin Eckler has had in the past, sometimes he's just going to be banged up. They need him. Chargers need him in this game, especially with Mike Williams probably being out. Justin Herbert needs Austin Eckler in this game. This is such an important game because Chargers have the tiebreaker. If they win this game, this is going to be a huge shift for that division lead and going potentially for the division win there. So you're going to be seeing them starting. Chris Jones is actually out on Kansas City. And why does that matter? Because we will talk a little bit about defenses in this kind of playoff strategy type thing. But Kansas City's defense has been hot. I think this is going to be a huge effect, and I would start all your Chargers as normal, all your Chiefs as normal, and I think the Chiefs defense, which has been extremely on fire, will take a little bit of a step back here because Chris Jones is not playing or expected not to play. So when we have that, so that's what it's pretty an easy game. You're starting your Mahomes, you're starting Kelsey, you're starting Tyreek Hill, you're starting Keenan Allen's supposed to be back, so you're starting Allen, you're starting Herbert, you're starting Eckler. The only kind of issues are you starting Jared Cook, and he's a low end tight end one in this situation. So and I'm not starting Guyton in this game unless I'm super desperate, but I'm not starting that kind of option or Josh Palmer. Like, we're not starting those types of options. So that's Thursday night football. Of course, I'll be missing it, so I'm going to have to probably rewatch it or something here on Friday. Maybe I won't rewatch it. Depends on how the game is and stuff, if it's an exciting game. But I was looking through some playoff strategy here, and matchups are important. They truly are, but sometimes they don't mean everything. And what I mean by that is, if you have players I see players trying to bench Tom Brady, or fantasy players benching Tom Brady because of Buffalo matchup, or they're gonna bet. Let's see, I don't even know who. Who do the Bucs play? The Bucs play Carolina and the Jets. Ooh, the next 2 weeks after they play New Orleans. Even New Orleans this week. Am I benching Tom Brady? No. We've seen plenty of star players. First of all, you're not benching any of your stars. You are continuing to play your stars. It is super important to play those players. But you're trying to figure out, well, what do I do? What are some playoff little strategies that I can do here? So we look at kind of week 16, week 17, because a lot of you have a bye like I do. And I have a bye in a couple different leagues, and some of them are playing this week. And so you're looking at, okay, well, who can I play the mediocre defense that is playing some bad matchups? And a couple different teams. The Saints, they do play Miami and Carolina coming up. Carolina, absolutely horrible in week 17. That's a huge matchup. If you can pass through Miami. Miami's going through some COVID protocols right now. They lost Waddle for now. They don't have a running back. And so you could even see more COVID spreading through there and them having half a team. And if they have a half a team, Miami is an okay matchup for the New Orleans defense. That would be one of the biggest defenses at this point. New Orleans would be one of the biggest defenses that I would think about picking up. Packers, they do play Cleveland again, kind of the COVID issues. Right now, Baker might not be quarterback. You're going to have Case Keenum maybe potentially next week. Who knows what the widespread will happen. They don't seem like they have an offensive line at this point. So Green Bay is a mediocre defense, again, that plays against Cleveland. They do play Minnesota week 17. Not as great of a matchup. I would rather have the Saints over the Packers. But again, options down the road. And same for those players, too. I mean, so think about that as well. I'm not even going to bring up defenses like the Bucs because they play Carolina and the Jets. They're already been taken and stuff. And so we go a little bit lower, actually kind of a couple of segments lower. And we talked about the Seattle Seahawks. They play Chicago Justin Fields, and then they play Detroit. So they have two really good matchups. They play the Rams this week, which is not a great matchup, but these are the times that you take, like even the Saints who play Tampa Bay. You might even see Tampa Bay or the Saints defense get dropped, but then you have Miami and Carolina, half-wielded Miami and a horrible Carolina offense currently. And so you have to kind of make some of these sacrifices through there. There's not much else out there. I mean, I looked at some of these defenses, and a lot of the bad defenses kind of play decent teams. Like, I'm not taking the Ravens defense against Cincy or Ravens against the Rams or anything like that. So those are kind of the big three. You got the Seahawks, you got the Saints, and you got the Green Bay Packers as kind of three different options. And of course, none of those defenses are available in my league because they suck. Because people suck. No, I'm just kidding. Because teams are preparing for that, and there's another team that has a bye that, of course, is trying to steal one of these teams, and they did, and good for them. They had a waiver priority over me, and so good for them on trying to plan ahead of time. Also, looking at these COVID situations are so crucially important. Waddle, COVID. Odell Beckham, COVID. Now look at other players potentially on that team that could see an increase in snap percentage or increase in target share that could be a potential start. Now, Jalen Waddle's up this week. Is it Albert Wilson? Is it Mac Hollins? Is it one of those two players going to get increased targets? And could they be even a flex-worthy start if Waddle gets hurt? Now look at even the Rams situation. Darrell Henderson, Odell Beckham. So you got, I can't even say his name, Brent Scrabber, whatever his name is. He could be an option if maybe it spreads to Kupp. Maybe Kupp, that's a warning that it could be Kupp having the COVID issues potentially in the future. Could. He has he's been widespread more to it, so he could. Van Jefferson, these are players that are like red alert. Like you kind of see this, like all of a sudden, boom, one player gets it, then another player, then all of a sudden like 8 players. Same with Washington's team. So look at like a Jarrett Patterson. Like these are players that you need to really keep an eye on. And if you have a roster spot available, especially midweek, and you can afford dropping a player and picking up one of these players, Malcolm Brown is like the only running back left. These are important strategies, even in the now. Like I just picked up, who the heck did I just pick up? I'm trying to think who I just picked up. I picked up somebody that had COVID. What the heck? Now I'm having a brain fart. Let's see. Who the heck did I pick up? I can't even think of who it was. It wasn't Christian Kirk. He was already taken. Oh, I picked up Dearness Johnson. The reason for that is because again, Cleveland being spread like wildfire. Hunt is hurt. If Chubb gets exposed again or has COVID or tests positive for COVID, Dearness Johnson is an immediate big running back start, and he was dropped in the league because the team got hampered with different things, and they needed a wide receiver, so they dropped Dearness, and all of a sudden now I can pick because of that. It could be an option. I still have a bye, but if this gets to Chubb next week, Chubb could be a potential player. Again, Alexander Mattison, COVID, not vaccinated, so you're talking about potentially this week, next week, a huge pickup, Kenny Nwangu. I would definitely pick up Kenny Nwangu at this point because, again, if they picked up Wayne Gallman, but if you think Dalvin Cook, if he gets spread to it, all of a sudden now you have kind of this big red flag of what could happen down the road. These are such important. This is such a crucial time. We have COVID IR spots specifically for COVID players, but it is a very, very important time to make sure that you are staying up to date on every little thing. And if you see that one player on a team gets COVID, you need to look at that position as a whole and say, I almost need like a handcuff to that player. Like if you have, let's say, Odell Beckham, if he got COVID, he's tested positive. Now you have to look at, okay, so if he got a positive, what happens? There's a high chance, or not high chance, but there's a chance, I don't know how high, it's kind of hard to guess, that Cooper Kupp or Van Jefferson could get COVID. Now, if one of those two gets COVID, now who'd the wide receiver be? Wide receiver 2 be? Would it be Higbee? Would it be Scalabrine or whatever the heck his last name? I can't. The guy that looks like Kupp, but is not Kupp. Just a late round pick. So these are things that you have to look at and see. It's so important just to kind of gloss over and be like, whatever. it's a matter of winning or losing, really. I mean, let's say Chubb goes down, and now I have Dearness Johnson, and now another team does not. They could potentially lose because of it. I, of course, have Jalen Waddle and stuff like that now that they're in COVID, but these are, like, now it's like looking at, okay, well, what are the different options? Now, what if Devontae Parker gets COVID? Now they don't even have a weapon. Now, Tua could get COVID too, and that could mess up everything. But is it Albert Wilson? Is it Matt Collins? Like, what are the different options? Very important. Now you see Malcolm Brown might be the starting running back because, of course, Savon Ahmed and because Myles Gaskin both have COVID or are tested positive for COVID. So these issues are going to be more widespread, and this is the worst time, of course, for it to happen right before playoffs. But you have to be prepared, and it's why depth is so important. It's why we hamper on handcuffs the last month. I feel like we've been saying handcuffs, handcuffs, handcuffs. Get your handcuffs. They are so important. But some people just didn't listen. That's all right. So this is Marcus Dynasty Dads. Peace out. Take care. I'll let you know how the movie goes. Spoiler free.